Hey, how's it going, everybody? Scott Spreitzer here with Tony George. Yes, we are representing Husker Nation better than the team itself. We are DocSports.com, and this is our first marquee matchup of the 2021 college football campaign. We'll be here each and every week throughout the season. But not only marquee matchup, yes, next week, week 1 of the NFL, it is the return of our 10 in 10 videos. So we're looking forward to that also. But this week, Tony, Indiana at Iowa. Okay, a decade ago, this isn't a marquee matchup. It definitely is now with both programs in the top 20. Iowa opened a 4.5-point home favorite in this one. It's down to 3.5, total 46. I think it'll move a little bit lower before it closes. Indiana's getting 55% of the tickets, a whopping 65% of the money, hence the line movement. And Tony, you got, 17 starters back for Indiana, a team that finished in the top 10 for the first time since the late 60s. Are you a believer in the Hoosiers this week, or does Kirk Ferentz smash mouth football get his team another home win?
Well, you know what, Scott? It's interesting. Notice I did ditch the Husker gear I just went with Chiefs. I know I'm guaranteed at least a winning season, so I'll leave the Husker stuff out of it. But you know what? I am a believer in Indiana. I think Tom Allen did a hell of a job last year. They lost a really good quarterback, Kinnick, later in the season to an ACL. He's coming back this year. He's been unable to stay healthy, which has been a kind of a problem for them for consistency. But last year they really did a nice job. And the 17 starters coming back, I really like here. Their defense was 19th nationally last year. And, of course, that fares well here because Iowa's defense was 6th nationally. However, they've only got 5 returning starters back on defense here. This is one of those games, Scott, where I think the hook on the 3 is real big. I like them better at 4.5 or 5, but obviously Iowa at home is well worth a 2 to 3 point home field favorite advantage, in my opinion. You can correct me on that. I'll get your feedback on that. But, with the quarterback back, all his wide receivers back, a lot of his weapons around him back. They've got great special teams, by the way. They had their kicker was second all Big Ten last year. He doesn't miss a lot of field goals here. This team has bought into Tom Allen, Scott. And they showed that last year, and I think they're buying in again. I think they got a lot of talent returning here, and I think Iowa, I don't know about you, Petrus is a good quarterback, but he's average at best. I think Indiana's got the best quarterback in the game if he comes out sharp. Obviously, he missed spring ball, Scott, and that's kind of a big deal, to miss spring camp and get that work in there. But at the end of the day, I got the better quarterback, more returning starters. I got a head coach that knows how to coach. Obviously, Ferentz is a great football coach. We all know that. But, when you lose 6 starters on the offensive and defensive line and you're Iowa, that raises a red flag early, in my opinion, Scott.
It's interesting with Iowa right now because they had a lot of off-field stuff going on. Nothing illegal, nothing breaking NC2A rules or anything like that, But it was a lot of former players not too happy with a couple of assistant coaches. And I want to see how that affects this team. I'm not so sure it happens, Tony, like in a week 1 type of setting. I think it's one of those things where if things go south, then those things start to become a mountain out of a molehill, and you start to see it really add up. So I don't think it's going to affect them in week 1. You mentioned Penix for Indiana. I'm not so sure that I want to call him a dependable quarterback yet. I know you didn't. And we all like Penix coming back from injury, but the bottom line is we'll see if he's dependable at quarterback. Indiana's made such a transition. I mean, it was just a few years ago when they wanted to beat you 55-50. And now look at the total on this one. It's 45-46. It's mid-40s between these two schools. I think, for me at least, that leans towards Iowa football at home. Now, if this was at Indiana, we might have a different situation. I love Iowa, not in this game, but playing at home normally when you're expecting it to be a low-scoring game and the other team wants to run the ball between the tackles, make safe passes. That's when I tend to like Iowa a little bit more. So, listen, it's not a premium play for me this weekend, but I'm going to lean towards Iowa minus the points here. I hate the hook. I get that. And I think I could probably wait a little bit longer. We're doing this on Wednesday evening. And I'm going to wait just a little bit to see if it drops to 3, because at 3.5, it is a little bit worrisome in a game that is a little more than an opinion for me, Tony.
Yeah, this one here, probably the safest bet. I think you hit the nail on the head. Both teams are going to play to their strength, and that's defense. And a 46 might be, this easily could be a 21-17, 2017 type ball game here. I do think if you lose the hook on Indiana, because I'm not high on Iowa here this week, if you lose the hook on Indiana, probably the safer play is the under. But one thing I can't get over last year, Indiana got robbed at Ohio State. They played Ohio State better than any team in the Big Ten last year. 42-35 loss. There was a controversial call in that game, as you remember, Scott. And that team is coming back with this quarterback. I like them. I do. I like Tom Allen. I really like the way he coaches his team. He's emotional. They buy in. And there's been a little, like you said, white noise at Iowa, kind of off to the side. Ferenz is a good enough coach to put that past the team, and have them focus on this game. But if you lose the hook here, I think the under is probably going to be a decent play too. But I'm going to go ahead and take the hook. So if you're with me and you like Indiana, you got to bet them early. Because if you don't, this is going to be down to 3 at game time, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole, the point of doing a lot of these videos that we've done, and we've done radio, both of us, for many, many years, more than I want to say. And one of the things is you've got to shop. You've got to have outs. You've got to shop. If you like Indiana, you better take 3.5. If you like Iowa, just wait and see if it drops to 3. But yeah, don't lay bad numbers. That's going to kill you. You do have something really good on your side of this particular game besides what you talked about. Allen has been tremendous. He's been money as a road dog. I think it's 7 straight covers and like 7-3 last 10. And so he's done a good job in that spot. But hey, Tony, before we wrap this up, let everybody know what's going on with you this weekend at DocSports.com.
Well, I'm going to do the old, Scott, you and I, little long in the tooth. We hate to admit it. All those years in radio and doing this, we got about 60 years between the two of us combined. So, but the one thing I can tell you that I do have is a low volume card. Less is going to be more on opening week. There's a lot of things that we still all don't know. As much research as you and I and all the guys at Docs do during the off season. We just don't start handicapping football the week before it starts. Starts clear back in spring camp and keeping our eye on things. But I'm going to go less is more. I'm not going to have a play of over 4 units this weekend, but we're going to have a game on Thursday, game on Friday, maybe 3 on we're going to have 3 on Saturday, and then we're going to maybe cherry pick one of those Sunday, Monday games, some good games made for TV games, which, Scott, we just love picking those. So we got so nonetheless, that's kind of what's going on.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to have a multiple game card, probably around 5 games also. We do release these on Thursdays, everybody, all the guys at DocSports.com, so check that out. And you get them all in one package. You don't have to buy 10 different packages to get whatever games we happen to be on. That's a very cool thing about DocSports.com. So I'll have about 5 deep in all likelihood. I do have a 7-star for Saturday. So that is going to be the first time this year I'm stepping out, Tony, with a 7-star play. Funny to say first time this year since we only had 5 games last week. So, but
hey,
I'll be
I know one thing is, as soon as this video is over, you're getting a text. So
oh, I won't charge any more than the price at DocSports.com, my friend.
I got that.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, listen, he's Tony George. I'm Scott Spreitzer. We are very happy to be kicking off Marquee Matchup again. We'll be here each and every week with that. Plus 10 in 10 returns next week. We'll be talking about 5 college football games, 5 NFL games, and we'll do our best to keep it all done in 10 minutes. He's Tony George. I'm Scott Spreitzer. Check out that free $60 account. Click on the link below the video. Get yourself set up for the free $60 if you're not yet a member. Use those free $60 on any of Tony's daily packages, any of mine, or anybody else on the roster at DocSports.com. Let's put them in the win column, everybody.